Runner at first, 2 outs, the pitch. Swing and a miss for a Redbird winner. That was picked out of the dirt by Pajes, tagging Frelick, and this ball game has come to an end. A 2-hour, 51-minute game goes to the Cardinals by a final of 3-2.
That's how it finished here this afternoon as Riley O'Brien picks up the save for the Cards. They win it 3-2. I'm Joe Pott. This is the Extra Innings Show here on KMOX and the Extra Innings Show presented by Graybar. Graybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. If you want to get in, chat about this, we do have a little bit of time, 314-436-7900, but easier still, jump on the socials. We're on all of them, YouTube, X, Facebook. Get in there, give us a comment on the stream, and we can chat about this one this afternoon. I likened it, or I termed it, a bounce-back game. That's kind of the theme that John Rooney and Rick Horton were riding with this afternoon, and that's really kind of what Oliver Marmol said right after the game. He was talking about the ability of his bullpen to bounce back and for a couple of those guys to literally get right back out there after last night. Last night's game was long. It finished very late in extra innings. You've got an early game here today, and you've got JoJo Romero and Riley O'Brien both coming back with a scoreless inning in relief. Really good to see, and something that we, thought that was more indicative of what this bullpen could be and has been here recently. We talked about it last night, that the more alarming issues last night were some of the, I don't know, is bonehead too strong of a word? Because that was what some of the plays were, right? And you saw a couple of, you saw a throw to the wrong base. And by the way, somebody asked last night on the postgame show, how do you tolerate that? And I mentioned the last time that it happened to Victor Scott, he sat for a while. Well, he sat today. Other than coming in very late in the game as a defensive replacement, he sat today. And I don't think that was a coincidence. I still think that there is a standard that they are trying to uphold despite being very young and having some newer guys, younger guys in that lineup and in that defensive alignment, that they still are holding them to a standard, which I think we all should be proud of. We all should be expecting that, quite frankly, that they should be holding them to that kind of standard, despite the fact that the wins and losses have not been what you wanted. It's not been the type of season you wanted, but there is an expectation of the way that baseball will be played. And I think that was what we saw today. And that was what was more alarming to Oliver Marmol last night than a couple of guys in the bullpen having bad days on the same day. And today they bounce back, and those two bounce back. Both JoJo Romero and Riley O'Brien bounce back, and the Cards bounce back with a win, 3-2. They salvage their road trip. They salvage a game from their road trip. They salvage a game from the series with the Milwaukee Brewers. So now I'm certainly not going to say all's well that ends well, but it's a much better feeling going home today after winning that game than to not get that win and have to make that trip back to St. Louis. We'll get on the phone lines. Randy is giving us a call. Randy, you're first up on the Extra Innings Show. I'm good.
How you doing today?
I'm good.
What is the Cardinals' magic number getting eliminated from the playoffs? And who is the Cardinals going to send down when Arnaldo come back?
Yeah, good question on both of those. I don't know I'm trying to see if the elimination number, if I can get myself back to the standings here. They usually have the elimination number listed for the Cardinals. Let's see. I don't see an elimination number at the moment. So, we could do some math if we really wanted to. They are right now 4 games out of the wild card spot, and they have 12 games remaining. That would be roughly 7 or 8, something like that, depending on what everybody does. So that's kind of what it would be. As for your other question, who goes out if Arenado gets activated? Fermin, maybe. I don't know for sure. I'm not exactly, certainly I don't know what they would do, but that would be my guess, would be Fermin. I appreciate it, Randy. Thanks for the call. Randy getting us started here this afternoon. You can do that as well, 314-436-7900. Or as I said, it's even easier to get on our socials and drop a comment right there on the stream. We have one comment from Verlis It is good to see Ollie benching Scott. And I don't know for sure, but I know it did. It was part of the reason the last time. I think it's part of the reason today, because I do think there is that standard that they are trying to uphold with the way baseball is played, with the expectations, what they expect from their players in those kind of situations. And he had the throw, but he also had a situation where he didn't get a bunt down. I believe that was him as well. So there were a couple of things, but I think that is important as well. I also agree that if that's the case, I'm certain that there is a conversation. This is not just have a seat because you didn't do well. We're going to talk about it. That is the way that Oliver Marmol has operated since the minute he's taken over as a manager at the big league level. That is what many, many players have said is one of the strong traits of the Cardinals manager, is his ability to communicate, his frankness, his openness. He's pretty straightforward. He's always been pretty straightforward with the public, with the media, with the press. But he definitely has been with his players. So I'm certain that Victor Scott would have gotten that message as well. Again, you can get in 314-436-7900 or drop us a comment. We'll take a break now. We've got another segment to go here on the Extra Innings Show. I'll tell you, if you weren't listening to to our network postgame show, I'll tell you how good Miles Michaelis has been here recently. We'll do that when we come back. It's the Extra Innings Show on KMOX.
That can help optimize your project's total value, like our comprehensive electronic solutions for security, AV, wireless, and networking, or our specialized job site services, like material staging and kitting, or maybe our logistics specialist, who can help you identify efficiencies and ensure just-in-time delivery. So consider what one more thing you may need to optimize your bottom line, and get to know us for that. Yep, Gray Bar does that.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we are more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. From startups to established businesses to estate plans, we are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. With offices in Missouri and Illinois, you can conveniently visit us today at sandbergphoenix.com. That's sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
Now, back to the Verizon Extra Innings Show.
Joe Pott back in on the Extra Innings Show. The Extra Innings Show is presented by Gray Bar. Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Happy to have you along indeed. Verlis adds on our stream. He says, Fermin is a bit of an underappreciated. He is underappreciated in his opinion. Great to see O'Brien putting it together. He has good stuff. I agree with that. I agree with both of those. But I do think that Fermin certainly has his place. And I don't know that it's as an everyday player. And unfortunately, there's got to be an odd man out, especially if you're bringing somebody back like a Nolan Arenado. And that's just my guess as to who it's going to be. I tell you how good Michaelis has been. In September, 3 starts, 2-0, 2.81. Take it back to his last start in August, which was against Pittsburgh on the 28th, where he gave up just a single earned run in that one. So in those 4 starts, he's covered 21 innings. He's 2-0 with a 2.57 earned run average. I have certainly been critical of the job that Miles Michaelis has done for a lot of this year. However, that doesn't mean that I wouldn't like to see him finish off this season strong. I think that for the most part, if you look at his entire time as a Cardinal, I think that you can say he has been more than serviceable as a Cardinal. There have been a lot of down moments, but it has not been altogether terrible. 18 wins in 2018, certainly the highlight of that, but he's also won 12, did that in 2022, won 10 and 24. So, and he can get to 10 wins again this year. So it hasn't been bad. And certainly I think, it could have been worse. And I would love to see him finish it out strong. So that's my point on Miles Michaelis. And like I said, this is the end for Miles Michaelis as far as it is time with the Cardinals for certain. But it would be nice to see him finish things out strong. And again, if he does, it likely means that the Cardinals have a good last couple of weeks of the season as well. 12 games to go. He'll start 2 of those games. Again, has a chance to get to 10 wins, and he is certainly finishing with a little momentum here as it appears as we come down the stretch. Last chance, if you want to get in, 314-436-7900. We'll finish up here just a little bit after the 5 o'clock hour in St. Louis. So you can get in or you can drop a comment on the stream and we can talk about it. I appreciate those that have gotten in. Certainly Verlis, who's been on our stream, commenting a couple of times today. We appreciate that. What's on Deck is brought to you by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. The sign you have the very best, chesterfieldfence.com. Cardinals with a homestand coming up. It's the final homestand of the regular season. The Reds and then the Brewers coming to Busch Stadium. It's Monday through Wednesday for the Reds. It is Friday through Sunday for the Brewers. Coming up immediately, it's a Monday game against the Reds at 6:45 tomorrow night. Matthew Liberatore will make the start. He'll go up against Zach Littell. 6:45 for that, 5:50 with the pregame show. Tuesday is the same timing. Michael McGreevy will pitch. Andrew Abbott will go for the Reds. I've told you before, I'll repeat it, that it's important for Matthew Liberatore and for Michael McGreevy to finish off this year as well as they can and as normal as they can. So get in your last couple of starts, finish it off, go into the offseason as a starter, fully knowing that they are two of the keys. They're going to be two of the main parts of the rotation, for lack of a better term. And I think that it's important. I have thought this for a while. I think it's important for them to go into the regular season as regular as possible. And I said, that is why Matthew Liberatore was held out of a couple of starts after the All-Star break, because the other option is you shut him down like now. He doesn't pitch the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever that looks like. They didn't want to do that because you want him to feel like, hey, this is what it feels like to finish the year as a starter, get on the throwing program, whatever it looks like, and get to Jupiter as a starter in this rotation. He and Michael McGreevy both should feel like that and should have that. That should be the experience. That should be what they have finishing off the end of September. I don't know what it looks like. Is it take a month off? Is it take 6 weeks off completely? I don't know. That's not for me to know. It's not for me to get ready to be that starter, but they need to go into that off season knowing exactly what their role is. And as I said, have everything be as normal and as regular as possible. We know about Mason Wynn, not going to finish the season on the active roster. Important for him to get a surgery quick so that he can be back at 100% as quick as possible. He mentioned to Mike Claiborne yesterday on the pregame show, a second opinion is coming. So they will have a second opinion just to clarify. Obviously, best case scenario is it's exactly as they thought. It's a meniscus tear. They know what they can do. They go in. It's an arthroscopic surgery. He gets that. He starts the rehab, recovery, etc. And he's good to go start for Jupiter as well. Not a bad way to finish off. In fact, the best way to finish off the road trip, that it was not a good road trip at all. So the best way they finish it off today. They get a good pitching performance all the way around. They win the game 3-2. They're coming home for a final 6 games starting tomorrow. Final chance to see the Cards certainly in the regular season. And unless something really turns around, it'll be your last chance to see him at Busch Stadium until 2026. Big thanks to John Rooney, to Rick Horton, to Mike Claiborne, and to Ryan Schulte there in Milwaukee. As always, thanks to Daniel Hinkamp. There he is. He's in that little box. There he is. It's reversed. He's been with us all afternoon. Certainly appreciate that. I'll talk to you down the road. I'm Joe Pott, and this is your home for Cardinals baseball, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
The following program has been pre-recorded. Now, The Rachel Zimmerman Show on the voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM, KMOX.